Here we'll be starting with the topic of logical reasoning. So here this is similar to arithmetic reasoning, but here we don't have much of calculations. It's all about your logic, it's all about your common sense, it's all about how you perceive sentences, how you see sentences. You have to read them, you have to understand them, and then you have to come to a conclusion. We have many different topics here like assertion, reasoning, conclusions, statements, agreements, everything, arguments, everything. So what happens is you have to read the sentences, read the questions given to you, and come to a compatible conclusion or come to a solution for your questions. So here in logical reasoning we have a syllabus. You can see the syllabus on your screen right now. We have to understand the structure of arguments, argument forms, categorical propositions, moods and figures, formal and informal fallacies, uses of language. Okay, so they'll be using different types of language, we have to understand that. Then about connotations and denotations of terms, classical square of oppositions, then evaluating and distinguishing deductive and inductive reasoning, that is an important part in logical reasoning. Then about analogies, Venn diagrams, this is the most important part, is Venn diagrams, simple and multiple use for establishing validity of arguments. Then a new topic that has come to the syllabus of logical reasoning is Indian logic. So in Indian logic we have to study about pramanas, then pratyakshas, anumanas, upamanas, shabda. So all these just Hindi or Sanskrit terms, but these were all there in the previous syllabus also, in the name of perceptions, inferences, comparisons, implications, then invariable relations, fallacies, etc. So all these were already there in the syllabus of logical reasoning, but they have added some Indian logic to there, or some Sanskrit terms or Hindi terms to it, so that we can actually relate more to it. So these are the areas that we have to cover, or these are the questions that we have to follow or we have to cover in this logical reasoning part. The main types of questions that we will have to follow is about Venn diagrams and deductive and inductive reasonings, and about arguments, statements, inferences, propositions, etc. So we'll be having a go through about it all, but before that we'll just have a look about some guidelines of logical reasoning. Now, what is logical reasoning? This is important for you to know. It is the ability to identify and understand the meaning of different patterns. They'll be giving us certain patterns, they'll be giving us certain sentences and all. We have to understand those sentences and come to a conclusion. It is based on critical thinking skills to solve the problem. So we should have some critical thinking skills. While seeing some sentences, we should be able to identify that those sentences and how those sentences can come to a conclusion, how those sentences can come to an argument, and different things like that. Then we have to identify the relationships and then bring conclusion. And one of the important part is common sense. You have to have your common sense, to understand certain sentences, certain languages, certain uses of languages, so that you can come to a conclusion. All the parts of logical reasoning cannot be taught through, even through classroom methods or even through online methods. Some of the part you have to have a common sense about how the question would come or how the answer would come. While doing the questions, you will understand more about what I am saying right now, but just have an idea, that a sense about what is going on. You'll have to know about the sentences, you'll have to know about the answers and all. Now, the next one, the different concepts that comes in logical reasoning. As we said before, we have the most important one, which is Venn diagram. Then we have deductions and inductions. Then statement and assumptions. They'll give you a statement and they'll give you an assumption, and then they'll ask whether those both relate to each other or not. Then they'll give statement and conclusions. They'll give 2 or 3 statements and then they'll give some conclusions, and we have to find out the correct conclusion. Then strong and weak arguments. They'll give us a statement and they'll give us 2 or 3 arguments, and then we have to find out which one is the strong argument and which one is the weak argument. Then we have assertions and reasonings, or assertions and reasons. They'll give us assertions, they'll give us reasons. We have to find out the relationship between the both. And about Indian logic, which is the newest term. Now, the first thing, as we said before, is about Venn diagram, which is the most important part. So Venn diagram means different figures. They'll be giving us different figures, or sometimes we ourselves have to draw different figures to to understand about various concepts. So we'll actually represent some concepts with some figures. For example, when we say that all cats are dogs, that is actually an example of how questions would come. So we'll actually have to represent cats by drawing a circle, just like this. So this would be a circle, this would be cats. Now if we say that cats and dogs, so we'll have to draw another circle and represent this as dog. So this is how you use Venn diagram to solve problems. Now this is just an example, so we'll have to use diagrams in different ways to solve a problem. We'll be doing it directly through questions or example questions, but just for the sake of understanding, I'm explaining all this. Then we can also use other geometrical figures like triangles, circles, rectangles, etc. We can use any type of diagram, that also we'll be explaining in the coming portions. But the most common thing that we use is circles, because it is easy to understand, easy to shade, so that we can understand it better. So there are two types of Venn diagrams that we commonly see, and one type that we usually use. So the first type is type 1. In this type there are many geometric figures representing different groups. So you can see a triangle, you can see a rectangle, a circle and all, and these are representing different groups. For example, the triangle as a whole represents apples, the rectangle as a whole represents grapes, and the circle as a whole represents oranges. But the problem here is, as you can see, as you can understand, if you know this, you can understand it. The number 1 only represents apples. It means that the number 1 does not represent the whole of the triangle. It represents only this part. Okay, so you can see that the number 4, the number 7, the number 6, all are parts of triangles, but they are not apples alone. The number 1 represents apples alone. For example, let me tell you, take the number 6 for instance. So it has a part of triangle within itself, and it has a part of circle also. So the number 6, it is a part of the circle also, it is a part of a triangle also. So the number 6 means, you can see on your screen those oranges which are apples. So the number 6 represents oranges as well as apples. So some part of orange, some part of apple also. You can see for instance the number 7. Okay, so 7 includes the triangle, the rectangle as well as the circle. So you can see on the screen those apples which are oranges and grapes. So the number 7 includes apples as well as oranges as well as grapes. So this is how you do a Venn diagram. And the next type of a Venn diagram is a circle type. So here we have a type 2. In this type, groups are represented by many circles. So instead of using a triangle and rectangle and all, we use many circles, and this is the most common type of Venn diagram that we use for logical reasoning as well as for mathematical operations. So normally when we say Venn diagram, we think of circles. So here also, this is also similar to the other diagram. So here we can see 1, 2 and 3. 1 means the letter A, 2 means the letter B, and 3 means the letter C, and then we have combination of all those. You can see here the number 6. It means that the circle A as well as circle B. It includes the circle A as well as circle B. You can see the number 5 here. So it means that it encompasses the circle B as well as the circle C. And finally this the number 4. Number 4 means we have all the 3, A, B and C. It encompasses all the 3, all the 3 circles in it. So this is just for your understanding what a Venn diagram is, or how you can draw a Venn diagram. When we come to the problems, we'll have a better understanding about it.